Ever had one of those months where it feels like everything that can go wrong does go wrong, and it goes wrong in very quick succession? So, yeah, the channel's been quiet. The eSig 101 video that went up last weekend was actually recorded at the end of last year. Final 2 episodes of this block was actually recorded at the end of last year, timed for releasing sometime during March or April. So that's why I mentioned March or April in the video, even though I had slightly longer hair than I've got now, because it was recorded at the end of last year. There's one more video of this block to go, and that's that block of eSig 101 done. But at the beginning, in fact it wasn't the beginning of March, it was the end of February. That's when it was. Started getting feelings in the stomach. And as all of us, you all know, I suffer from Crohn's disease, which is something that I was diagnosed with about a couple of years ago now, with the ongoing stomach issues that I've been having. I've also got diverticulitis, but the diverticulitis is not as bad as other people have it. My big problem is the Crohn's disease, has been for a while now. So as anyone with Crohn's disease will tell you, you sometimes get flare-ups. Some of the time it's due to something that you ate that you shouldn't have. I'm on a very strict diet now, but some of the times it's down to the food you eat. Other times it just fucking happens. It's just, oh, you've now got a flare up, fuck you. That's your stomach telling you to go fuck yourself, essentially. That's basically what happened to me end of last month, going into the first week of last month. I thought, oh, here we go, I flared up, I'll need to take the week off, because that's what I usually do. Anyone with a Crohn's disease flare up, you've got to take it easy. You've got to take it easy. This time it was different though. It felt different. That's going to sound weird, but again, people with Crohn's disease will know what the fuck I'm talking about. It felt different this time. Not so much of a dull, low throbbing pain, more of a sharp, stabby pain. And a sharp, stabby pain is not good. And it got worse and worse and worse. And then I called 111 because it was like fucking 8 o'clock in the evening or something. Told them what was happening. Doctor came out, doctor checked me out and said, yeah, I'm phoning an ambulance for you. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought it was just, here's a couple of tablets, here's a big painkiller, and then he fucks off. But nah, take me to the hospital. So, lots of poking and prodding and shit happening in the hospital at the beginning of the second week of March. And it turns out I was this close to a full bowel obstruction, which is not good. It's not good. So I was kept in, under observation. The specialist said to me if it had got worse, then an operation to remove that section of the bowel would have been on the cards. Luckily for me, it started to subside. Again, it wasn't a dietary thing, because I've been sticking to my regimens, is why I've still got a little bit of a double chin there, but it's why I'm starting to lose this weight. I'm not fucking exercising. It's not as if I'm running out fucking marathons and shit like that. No, it's because I'm on a strict diet these days. That's why. I'm on a strict diet because of the Crohn's disease. And what the dietitians are doing is they're slowly adding stuff that I like, which is basically chocolate, donuts, cake, and then more chocolate, more donuts, and more cake. But they're slowly adding stuff like that onto the dietary to see if the Crohn's disease reacts to it. So far it hasn't. But yeah, so I was in the fucking hospital first 2.5 weeks of last month, and it was like, well, fuck. What can you do? You can't do anything. You can't do. You've got to fucking sit there and wait on the treatments actually helping. That's what you've got to do. And it was the last day out as an outpatient, which would have been the 3rd week going into the 4th week of March, tail end of last month. I went out of the hospital, had a cup of tea at the little cafe bit, didn't have any cake. Fuck. So I had a cup of tea, then got on the bus and popped back here again. To a message from SX Mini saying, thanks for all your time, Vic. We've decided to go a different route. So that's the job with SX Mini gone. To be fair, to be fair, the actual contract with SX Mini actually ended on the 1st of December 2024. Yeah, I know it's been that fucking long already, because we originally signed the contract on November of 2023, because I spoke with SX Mini at the October Expo of 23, and the contract was signed in November of 2023 to run for a year. So the contract actually ran out on the 1st of December last year. That's when it ran out. And ever since then, it's been an ongoing monthly thing that's been happening. And whether it had something to do with the tariffs that Trump is doing, because China's now up to 145% tariff rate, whether they heard that it was coming, because there was already rumours about this happening, because this happened 2 days before Trump made the announcement in the Rose Garden at the Oval Office, holding up his fucking placard, giving it China and all that crap on TV. It happened 2 days before it, but there was already rumours of this happening about a week before. And yeah, I've been let go from SX Mini. There wasn't a big fallout. Me and David are actually still chatting on and off on WhatsApp, and I said to David, look, anything that you guys make, I will still be more than fucking happy to review it. More than fucking happy. The contract basically ran out, folks. That's essentially what happened. The contract ran out. And then on top of that, about a week ago now, I got a message from YouTube saying, oh yeah, we've just demonetized your entire channel because you do vape shit. They didn't actually say vape shit, but they did say we've demonetized your channel. So now all channel memberships have been shut down. All donations via the live shows are no longer allowed. And anytime you see an advert running on any video on this channel, all of the money is going to YouTube and none of it is going to me. Not that it made much fucking difference, because I was only making about £60 to £65 a month. That's how much. A month from the adverts. The bulk of it was going to YouTube because the channel was already partially demonetized. But what YouTube's done now is they've just pulled the plug on the rest of it. Same thing happened to Jay Hayes. I think the same thing happened to Mike Vape. And I think the same thing's happening to Grim Green. Complete demonetization of the channel. This is basically YouTube's final stop before an outright ban of anything to do with vaping on the YouTube platform. Now you know why I opened up or reopened the Rumble channel. Now you know why I'm putting much more concentration on Rumble, because there is going to come a time, it's either going to be the end of this year or sometime in 2026, where YouTube is going to go, that's it, all vaping content is no longer allowed in this platform. And that's it. That's it. That's why I've been putting a heavier emphasis on Rumble. That's why I have much heavier emphasis on Rumble, and it's got sunny all of a sudden outside. So yeah, it's like one thing after another. After a fucking another. One thing after another. On top of that, there was less and less things coming in for review. So with all of that running around in my mind at the very end of this month, going into the beginning of this month, I was seriously considering just walking away. And it's the first time I've felt like that for about 5 years, 5 or 6 years. I was seriously considering just going, you know what, Vic, you've had a good run, time to walk away. Just do what Dean the Devil Vapor did, put up a video saying goodbye, and then leave the channel up as a historical record of vaping or something like that. But I was seriously considering doing that because the surgeons and the specialists, more especially the specialist up at Cross House, said, look Vic, your Crohn's disease is going to get progressively worse. It is not something that can actually be cured. It can be treated, but it can't be cured. And it will get progressively worse as you get older. Even with the dietary restrictions, even with you being careful about what you're eating, it will get worse. There is no getting around it. There is no avoiding it. It's gonna get worse. And the way you've got it right now, especially with the flare-up that I had recently, yeah, you're in for a rough time. You're in for a rough time. Go on disability. Because, and this was all the specialist words, no employer in their right mind would hire someone who at the drop of a hat would need to take 1 or 2 weeks off out of a month, or maybe 1 week off out of a month due to a flare-up of Crohn's disease. No employer in their right mind would hire that person. Especially now with the job market the way it is. You need to be on ESA. Whether it be the work-related activity group or whether it be the full support group. Either fucking one. She didn't say fucking one, she just said either one. And I'm kind of paraphrasing what she would basically... Basically she said I need to go on disability. That's essentially what she said. And I was thinking at the beginning of this month, well, you know, don't have any income from SX Mini now. I don't have any income from YouTube now. Not that I had much from YouTube. And the only money coming in is the $300 because that's all that's coming in from Patreon now, 300 USD. The $300 from Patreon. The bulk of the money was not coming in from YouTube. It simply wasn't. Simply wasn't. And it was a case of, well, fuck. Yeah. So on top of that, there's also the fact that nothing is coming in. Nothing is coming in for reviews. Because with the way that the e-cigarette industry now has to manage itself against the Trump tariffs of 145. I mean, think of it this way, right? Something like, well, not this is a bad example, something like this. The Vaping Tita X, right, which is a hobbyist bit of kit, an advanced vaping bit of kit. So the Vaping Tita X retails for, I think it was about $90 US, something like that, 90 USD. Add 145% on top of that, so double it, and then add half on top of that. So you're looking at, oh shit, I'm crap at maths. Okay, let's pretend, because I fucking hate doing odd numbers. Let's pretend this is $100 US, right? So 145% tax on top of that. You're looking at $100 bit of kit now being $245 US. $100 bit of kit. Adding 145 on top of that for the 145% tax. 245 USD this is now going to cost over in the States. And you can do that with any bit of e-cig kit. Whether it be coils, whether it be the full pod kit. Anything that says made in China stamped on the side of it. Yeah. This is why, not just looking at what happened to me with SX Mini, they got in ahead of the curve. But if you look at what's happening on Instagram and on TikTok right now, all of the big influencers who are obviously doing it for the money, they've all been quiet over the past couple of weeks. One or two of them are still doing one or two videos, but nowhere near the amount of videos they used to do. This is China now cutting back on marketing. In fact, they're cutting back on marketing so much, half of the marketing staff have ended up being fired. No marketing staff, no contacts. No contacts, no samples being sent out for review. No samples sent out for the review, fuck all to record for this channel. And that's the biggest problem, because without anything to review, this channel is going to basically stall. So, thanks to Jaff Vapes, and if you don't know who Jaff Vapes is, he was actually one of the guests that was on the last UK Vape show. It was Jaff Vapes, because I put a message up on somewhere on social media, I think it was about a month and a half ago now, saying that I would be willing to work with a UK shop. To get stuff in for review. And that shop would get shout-outs, essentially. And Jaff Vapes contacted eCig1, because eCig1 don't spend a lot of time in social media. So over the past couple of weeks, I have been chatting with Shane from eCig1, and we've worked out a deal. So now, anything that new that arrives at eCig1 for review, or not for review, what the fuck am I talking about? Anything that arrives at eSig1 to be sold on the eSig1 shop comes here for a review and a standalone presentation video on the soon-to-be relaunched eSig1 YouTube channel. So basically, it's something similar to what I did for SX Mini, but not quite as in-depth as the videos that I've done for SX Mini, and it kills one big bird with one big stone. I get stuff in for review. I mean, okay, the bulk of it is probably going to be podcasts and stuff, because that's the end of the market that eSig1 generally deal with, but there is going to be rebuildables, and there is going to be advanced kits. In fact, I've got a couple of rebuildables sitting on the shelf behind me that came in from eSig1, and that's even before I actually officially start doing the job for them. So the review problem has been solved. Big thanks to Jaff Vapes for getting me into contact with Shane from eSig1. That problem's been solved. It's been solved. And I'm also doing side work for the eSig1's YouTube channel as well. It's basically like presentation videos, something like that, you know. So if someone goes onto the eSig1 website and they let's say they land on a pod kit page, they're going to see my video at the bottom giving them a rundown of what that pod kit actually does. Not a review, a presentation video. That's the deal. And so yeah, that's one big huge bird killed with one big huge stone, because the problem of having nothing coming in for review was getting serious. It's now at the stage where there's only really 3 companies that are now in regular contact with me. Aspire, I've got a couple of Aspire bits of kit in for review, Vaporesso and Vapors Cloud. That's it. I've had no contact from Geek Vape for the better part of 7 months. No contact from Vapefly for about a year. No contact from a bunch of other companies whose names I can't fucking remember right now for the better part of 7 or 8 months now. And what with the Trump tariffs coming in, and about half of the marketing teams over in Shenzhen being sacked on the spot, which is what happened. I'm not going to mention who the companies are, but it was 5 companies. Was it? No, it was 4. It was 4 companies who basically sacked their marketing team on the spot. And that happened last week. That happened last week when the 125% tariffs were announced. It's now at 145% tariffs. God knows what kind of state employment is currently at over in Shenzhen in China. Things are going to be bad over there. They're going to be bad. The good thing about the e-cigarette industry, though, is it's worldwide. So a lot of these bigger companies like Vaporesso, like Geek Vape, like Aspire, they're not solely relying on the e-cigarette trade in the United States. They can fall back to the UK, they can fall back to Europe, they can fall back to Asia and Russia. But the fact is, the US market is a large percentage of that e-cigarette base. It simply is. Because they're a very big consumer society in the United States compared to the UK, compared to Europe. But the good thing about the e-cig industry, they're not relying on one single country for their income. The fact that they had to sack their marketing staff, though, and the fact that a lot of those marketing staff ended up sacking a lot of the influencers, yeah, they're making cutbacks. They're making cutbacks. That much is a fucking certainty. They're making cutbacks. So, you've probably seen this. Oh, it's finished. Awesome. That is Adobe Premiere Media Encoder. Adobe Media Encoder. And that is all the reviews that I've now just encoded. They were actually recorded about a month and a fucking half ago, and if it wasn't for me and the Crohn's disease, they would have actually been released the 1st and 2nd week of March. But in the 1st and 2nd week of March, I was feeling sorry for myself in hospital, so they're now being released. One of the reviews actually is for this thing. Again, I'm a bit late to the fucking party, but hello, hospital. So it's the Pure Max Q, along with this thing, which I surprisingly, you know, it's one of these things that are probably going to be banned in the UK market soon. But 2mm pod down here, and then there's this, which is a tank, a 10mm tank that plugs straight into the pod. Now there's a law that's been shoved into the tobacco and vapes bill in the UK that's going to get rid of these. But again, the bill hasn't actually passed, so right now these things are still legal. But I've actually been enjoying these. It's the Memers Wuhong 10,000 puff, and unlike a lot of these big puff vapes, they didn't go nuts with the sweetener, and that's the one single hate. The one thing I hate about disposables, they go nuts with the sweetener. This, they didn't. You can actually taste the flavour. It's not as if you're vaping Lyle's golden fucking syrup. Blue raz in this, and it's very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. 20mg free bait, not fuck. Can you imagine it was? No, 20mg Nick salt, obviously. And of course, Vapon Titer, Mike Vapes, dual borrow slidey glass door thingamabob, peach custard in here. And that's it, folks. That's basically it. I thought I'd give everyone an update as to what is actually happening. The biggest tell, because I know some people were actually worried about me vanishing. The biggest tell, if I vanish from not YouTube, if I vanish from Facebook for more than 2 days, odds are I'm probably in hospital. Because everyone knows me, I'm on fucking Facebook all the damn time, fucking every damn day. If I'm not in Facebook for 2 days in a row, I'm probably in hospital because of the Crohn's disease. That's the one way you can tell. Because it's very rare for me to be off of Facebook for more than 2 days. Very rare. Very fucking rare. But there was a lot of people worried about what was actually happening, especially when I basically vanished off of Facebook for like a week, 2 weeks in a row. I was in hospital. That's what it came down to. I was in hospital. But yeah, I think that covers it, folks. So there is going to be some changes that you're going to be seeing on the channel. Now again, it depends on how much new stuff eSig1 gets in for sales on their page, or not their page, on their website. So right now, the average, I want to burp, but it's stuck down there and it's fucking annoying me. Right now, the average amount of reviews in this channel is about 2 or 3 reviews a week. There will be some weeks where you might see 4 or 5 reviews going up. Again, depends how much stuff eSig1 gets in new for sale on their website. I know that there's going to be a little bit of a backlog because there's going to be some products on the eSig1 site that I'm going to be doing presentation videos for, and if I'm doing a presentation video for that product and I know I haven't reviewed it on this channel, yeah, I'm going to be doing a review for it as well. Might be an older bit of kit, but I'm still going to be doing a review for it. There's also going to be another change happening because I still honestly believe that sometime, either the end of this year or sometime in 2026, YouTube is going to pull the plug completely on vape channels. Just totally pull the plug on them. And that's why I'm going to start slowly pushing more and more the Rumble channel. And the idea that I'm now toying with is shifting the UK Vape Show off of YouTube and onto Rumble. Not dual streaming it, just removing it completely from the YouTube platform and shifting it onto Rumble. That's not going to be something I'm going to deal with until after the UK Vapor Expo. And yes, there is now an 80% chance that I will be going to the UK Vapor Expo, because I'm still actually waiting on the final payment from SX Mini clearing in the bank. They've sent the money out, but they sent it on a Sunday, Easter Sunday, and it was a bank holiday Monday the day after, and as everyone knows, BACS and BACS payments, they don't process on a Sunday, and they sure as fuck don't process on a bank holiday. So I'm waiting on that processing out, and if it manages to filter into the bank account in the next 3 or 4 days, then yeah, I'll be going to the UK Vapor Expo. But if the bank drags their heels, I might not be. But right now it's looking like I will be. But the future of this channel on YouTube that you're looking at right now is up in the air, because normally what happens when a YouTube channel is completely demonetized by YouTube, it basically means that YouTube is making nothing out of those videos, and nothing, even if the videos are running adverts, they're getting pennies out of it. But the next step away from that is a full-out ban. And if you look at any other genre of video creators on YouTube, like the prank video craze that happened a couple of years ago, the same pattern happened. Individual strikes. Then it was partial demonetization. Then it was full demonetization. And then half the channels in the prank video genre ended up being deleted, banned, out. And I honestly think that's going to be happening to the vaping scene on YouTube sometime within the next year and a half. YouTube are notoriously slow at doing things, but when they do things, they usually do it en masse. Right now they're doing the demonetizations en masse. It's been happening to numerous channels over the past 4 or 5 months, and the next step is an outright ban of vaping content on the YouTube platform, and that's what's coming next. That's what's coming next. So while we're waiting on that happening, expect me to push the Rumble platform a lot more than I'm pushing it right now. A lot more than I'm pushing it right now. To the stage it may end up getting to the point where the only thing that you'll be seeing on this channel is the What's Up Sunday Update vlog. Because I fully plan by hopefully this time next year to have the What's Up being mirrored on Rumble, which I'm halfway doing right now, to have eSig 101, a Rumble exclusive, to have the UK Vape Show exclusively on Rumble as well, and to have the reviews exclusively on Rumble, with not even a cut down version of the review being on YouTube, because this is the path that YouTube are now going down. They don't care. They don't want vapors on this platform. They simply don't want them. And a full demonetization is one step away from a full ban. It's a fact. It's a fact. So, yeah. All you people out there that said, don't bother with Rumble, Vic, it's a waste of time. Not fucking, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it isn't. I'll also be opening a locals page for the Rumble page. The locals page is kind of Rumble's version of the YouTube membership. It's done by a third-party company, because obviously we can't do YouTube membership in this channel now because the channel's been completely demonetized. So yeah, I'll be opening up a locals page for the Rumble Vaping with Vic channel sometime over the next couple of weeks. I'll make a little announcement on a WhatsApp. It'll be sometime either just before or just after the UK Vapor Expo in May. Anyway, that's it with me, folks. I thought I'd keep everyone up to date. Have a good one.